welcome to another episode of Stateside Reds. Manchester United 3, Ipswich 2. And as the headline says, it is over for Onana. Two of the worst goals I've possibly seen from a goalkeeper, other than David De Gea in the finals against City a couple of years ago. Casey, I'll pass over to you. What's your thoughts on it?
Well, Onana's form is terrible right now. You know, this is the thing about our team is we have these veteran guys, and you want them to be able to lead in crucial moments. But the first goal is just what everything it is. He's reading the ball. He's seeing the play.
Yeah. Help
Dorgu out. You know, don't leave your box. Don't get in his way. Either tell him to go, I got it, or something. Communicate. And it's, I heard a stat today that he's almost close to where David De Gea's mistakes already.
Yeah.
He's getting close to all the goal scoring causing mistakes that David De Gea did. I know it's not popular to say, but he's a huge liability. He's getting worse. He hasn't shown his timing is off. His shot blocking is terrible because he sets teams up for goals. He never catches the ball. And it's actually a disgrace and putting the team in a bad situation, especially financially, where we shouldn't be talking about another goalie, but I just don't see how he can stay because he's not doing anything positive. He's playing for the other team. You know, he makes us all uncomfortable. Absolutely. You know, his teammates got to have no trust for him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they know what's going on.
Just his overall decision making, his ability to play out from the back, it seems to be getting worse. Jordan, and first off, welcome to Jordan. This is Jordan's first time on the show. Jordan, what's your thoughts on Onana?
Abysmal, to say the least. I mean, it's just time and time again, just silly mistakes. And, you know, they're costing us. And luckily we got away with it today. But, man, I just don't see how we can move forward with him. He's not United quality. And yeah, he's a lot, like Casey said, he's just a liability at this point.
Yeah. It's for me, like, we'll go through the goal, each goal for Ipswich. The first one, a lot of people, are saying, because I do a lot of research before this, oh, it's on Dorgu and it's on Onana at the same time. I would generally agree if Dorgu looked like he didn't have it under control, but I don't understand why Onana came out in the first place. Dorgu clearly looked like he had it under control. Yes, I give a little bit to Dorgu there because he should have checked the goalkeeper again before making that pass, but he shouldn't have to in the first place in my eye. So it's just another error, and it's compounding. As Sanjeev is saying, he said he thought the last year of David De Gea was bad, but this version of Onana is worse than David De Gea. Do you not agree, Jordan?
Yeah, I mean, I would say so. I mean, De Gea, his last year at United wasn't great, but he wasn't costing us games necessarily. I mean, he had a few blunders here and there that made games closer, but we weren't losing every single one of those games. Whereas this year specifically, unfortunately, it's resulting in losses, which puts a bigger spotlight on Onana and his mistakes. And that's maybe not fair, but that's the case. And unfortunately, when you're making those mistakes, you're going to get the brunt of the backlash.
Yeah. Casey, the first goal, what was he doing? Why was he coming out like?
I have no idea because he came a long way. And I understand what you're saying that maybe Dorgu should have checked the goalie. But remember, he's tracking a ball that's in the air. And it comes down to his feet, Onana's right there in front of him. So then he touches it. Onana was nowhere, not even in the box. I could see if Onana was still in the box, Dorgu could go chase that ball. But it was just, I know the guy who scored the goal had to be like, oh, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
David made mistakes, but then David would go on a run of good games. Onana is consistent bad games. It's consistent. It's not getting better. There's no upside to him right now. His form is so terrible. we probably couldn't even get rid of him for 12. It's just embarrassing. It's embarrassing that's a Manchester United goalie.
Yeah. I talked about it on the last show last night with you about how, some of our defenders have been making mistakes, but they were phenomenal today.
Oh yeah.
They like none of the goals I feel were due to them. The entire second half, I think Ipswich had one shot on goal. The entire second half when we had 10 men. So I think the defenders did really well today. They both scored. Maguire did it really well with a header. 𝙈𝙊𝙍, especially with the rebounds, putting the ball in the back of the net. So I can't blame this anything on the defenders. We did, to be honest though, we did kind of pick up play after the first goal had gone in.
Yeah, there was an overall good spirit about the team. They were definitely working hard, and then when we went down, man, they locked in. I think they just told themselves, we can't let the ball get back to Onana no more. We got to clean this shit up.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll jump onto the second goal. I can kind of see a little bit of why he kind of was hesitant, because the ball came in. It did look like their striker was going to get a touch on it. But even after he realized the striker wasn't going to get a touch on it, he was still late and didn't even dive to the right. He didn't react in time, Jordan. You've played the game. I'm not sure if you ever played in defense, but that reaction time was just horrendous, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, it really didn't look like the striker was that close to even making contact.
Mm-hmm.
And just as a goalie, you kind of got to be able to read that. Obviously, it would be nice if the defender might have gotten in front of that, but that wasn't the case. And you have to be prepared for that. Any ball can bounce through at any time.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why they do the goalie drills, where you work on deflections, you work on balls passing through. I mean, that's literally what you train for.
Yeah, they have that mat now where they kick the ball in it and it makes it go into different directions.
Right, exactly.
For you to, reactionary.
And obviously, he didn't get a touch, but again, that's what you practice for. And like you said, the reaction time was very late for what the play was. I mean, he could see that ball coming at him for a good 5 seconds before he had time to make a decision, make a reaction.
Yeah, I would more the ball go into the center of the net and him dive to the right than for him to kind of, just stand there and do nothing. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'd rather him dive to the right, possibly make the save. But if the striker does get a toe on it, it goes in the center of the goal. At least you're using your brain thinking, okay, this is going to go into the far post. But the fact that his position was so bad that it did go into the far post. No goalie should be letting a ball go into the far corner from that position at all. Sanjeev, I'm not gonna comment on that. We don't like to bring that name up in here anymore. But yeah, let's talk about the game. I thought United had some fight in them. I think there was a lot of passion in there. Again, 17 goals now, 17 games now without a goal for Rasmus Højlund. For me, one of the players of the match was 𝙈𝙍𝙀. I thought he was phenomenal today. And he's really coming into the game. Casey, who was one of the standout players for you today?
I have, go ahead and say Bruno. I thought Bruno was everywhere. I thought Bruno gave us opportunities. His crosses were magnificent. He wasn't wasteful. I thought 𝙈𝙊𝙍 played well. I thought 𝗦𝗶𝗴𝙍 played well.
Mm-hmm.
Up until the sending out, I thought Dorgu was starting to fit in, getting himself going again. 𝙈𝙍𝙀 looked good. But, Rasmus is just, I can't believe, you and I were saying expect 20 goals out of him next season. It's not clicking with him right now. It's kind of tough because there's a talent there, but we're just not getting it out of him, I would like to say that Harry Maguire, every time you cuss him and say, let's write him off, he does something where we'll be like, oh my God, Harry's back at it again. So I'm going to give Harry a shout out.
Yeah.
But I was really happy with Bruno's play today. I think he had a good captain's performance.
Yeah, Jordan, who was your kind of standout player of the game today?
I love my midfielders. I got to give it to Ugarte. I think he really held it
Oh
down for
yes.
us in the midfield.
Forgive
He was
Jordan,
putting
forgive
in
me.
tackles all
Ugarte was
day.
amazing. Sorry.
Yeah, no, he was putting in tackles all day, showing that fight, kind of leading without being the leader. You know what I'm saying? He was showing everyone what a good work rate is, and with him and Bruno especially, like you said, Bruno was playing really well today too, showing a great work rate. Obviously keeled over towards the end there when he was so out of breath. But yeah, I think those two specifically really kind of made us click today. I like the Lenny Yoro shout out. He should have had an assist if 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀 didn't let that ball go through. Yeah, I mean, you got to feel for the kid. I mean, he's what, 20, 21, 22 years old.
Yep.
Having a rough go, but at some point you got to turn it around, or it's just not going to work out. So we'll see what happens towards the end of the year here, and yeah, we'll see what happens.
For me, for Rasmus, I feel like we need to go out and get a player like Osman and let Rasmus sit and learn and not be the main guy up front for Man United. I think, because we always talk about the pressure of Man United, right? There's a lot of pressure. He's under a lot of pressure right now. 17 games. I still think there's a player in him. I really do. He is just got, right now is past it. And for me, it was disappointing today that Obi didn't get to have a chance. I think this would have been a good chance for him today. I think we're going to see him at the weekend versus Fulham. But I think for me, it was kind of disappointing. One thing I do want to touch on is, the substitutions. In hindsight, Amran got it right. But I'm not sure why you're bringing on Casemiro with 20 minutes to go because for me, if they score, we have no one on the pitch to score a goal. You know what I mean? He went completely defensive. It was like he had 10 at the back. He had 𝙈𝙀𝙀 up front. And I think he made a mistake today with the sub. Casey, what do you think with the substitutions? Real quick, the Garnacho one I think was correct. You needed to bring off a left-sided player to bring on a left wing back. But for me,
I would have liked him to pull Rasmus out, but I get it. He had to take out an attacker and go defensive. The Casemiro one scared me. I'm not gonna lie, but it actually worked. Casemiro played with a little bit of energy. Maybe he's only good for like 10 minutes here and there, but he played with some energy. He was active. He was involved. He was present. He was trying to get everybody going. I don't think the substitutions was too much of a problem because everybody came in, got involved, and they were a part of the game, and they weren't a liability. They all fed off each other's energy. So, like we said, there's things they're contagious. When you play hard, it's contagious. When you play shitty, it's contagious. So, when you have an overall team spirit where everybody's working, I think it just feeds and spreads, and that's how you win games. I mean, these are games this is how we used to lose. Well, I shouldn't say used to, like it stopped, but
no, I agree. But if we concede a goal there, though, this is a completely different conversation. Why you bring on Casemiro? Like Mikey pointed out in the chat, like they were open for another goal to be conceded right there. But for me to bring on a defensive player and a team that is fighting and has passion to bring on. I think we only had one shot in the second half, and I think they had something like 70% of the possession in the second half. A team like us, even though down to 10 men, shouldn't be putting 10 people behind the ball. Jordan, what's your thoughts on the substitutions? Do you agree with going 10 behind the ball there?
I think situationally, with where we are and we're at in the table, and versus an opponent that we have to win against, I think it was a brave but correct move. Obviously, like you said, we should never have to put 10 people behind the ball. But at the end of the day, it got the win. I think, like I said, it was a brave move. You know, you're putting a lot of trust in your team, and I think that says a lot, especially considering how many goals we've conceded in his start at United Amram. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think it took for as much people were bashing him for not having guts to make certain substitutions. I think he did that today. Because exactly what you said. If they score, then it's going to be a whole different headline, whole different story. But team came through and came through for their manager, and that's what matters.
Yeah, I wanted to I want to talk while we're talking about I really want to stop seeing managers make substitutions in the 92nd minute. Like it's adding, like you're adding 2 raw players to a game when we're being 10 behind the ball already, and not only that, it added 3 minutes to the game that shouldn't have been there for me. I think that you're not bringing them on for fitness because those players already got 2 minutes left in the game. You're just adding more time to the game. It drives me insane. Just a couple of chats. Michael Matten, we got only thing, and that's Glazers out. Ineos kept Glazers in. We're not going down. Next season, Psy. And then enough for the Glazers. Trust me, Michael. We all agree with you. We've had enough with the Glazers. We're working on some things here to, work on the United States side of things regarding protests. And that's what we're going to be doing. We'll reach out to you guys when we've got them up. But, at the end of the day, I don't see them selling anytime soon. Let's talk about Garnacho. I think there's a strong possibility as of right now, after what he did today, that he's going to be sold in the summer. We talk about a player who posts stuff online, is immature. Yes, he didn't say anything, like you said, Jordan, earlier, with his words. You don't have to say things with words in today's day and age for people to get a message.
Right.
Storming down the tunnel, trying to be like his idol Ronaldo and just storming down the tunnel. This isn't something that we need at Manchester United right now when we're as bad as we are and we're trying to change the culture. Casey, I think he's done. I think he's sold in the summer now.
Well, I totally agree with this behavior. I don't agree with his behavior today. Your team's in a moment of fighting, trying to preserve a game or win a game, and there's a red card. The coaches make a substitution. It was obviously tactical. Then you go and make it about yourself and decide that, I want to draw attention to me in a negative way. And you go to social media instead of just button it up, chill out, talk to the coach after the match. But then you start this revolution where for everybody to see. And it's just immature. It's not professional. I don't want to say it's because of youth. He's been around long enough to see good and bad examples of how to deal with stuff. He knows that whatever he did was bad. He has to know it was bad. And it's hard to defend it. Is he done? Could be. Amram is a guy who doesn't deal with this nonsense. But, we all feel like Garnacho is going to be one of the people to sell if you want to help this PSR thing anyway. He's not helping himself by doing this stuff. Stuff like this is bad character. When you take yourself, the energy from your team, a win, a hard-fought win, and you have this negative thing looming, because now we're going to have to read all about it tomorrow after a win.
We're already reading about it.
Unforgivable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in the press conference, he was just constantly asked about Garnacho and post online, walking down the tunnel without his teammates. He was already asked about it, and he says, I will comment on it in the next press conference. Which means a 20-year-old kid is now getting his ass chewed out for the second time in 3 months after he's been at Manchester United. He was warned once and was brought back into the team. I gave him respect. He came back. He worked hard. He fought. But you're right. Your team went down to 10 men today. From my perspective, something that is not red, but I understand why it's a red. I'm old school in that aspect, so we'll get into that. But you're right. He made it about himself instead of the team, and that's why for me, with what's going on with Rashford. And if this was his first time, I can understand, but this is the second time in 3 months that this has happened. Jordan, with that being said, do you now see him going in the summer?
I mean, like you said, Amorim's already given him a warning, and with the price tag he's gonna warrant, it's gonna be hard for them to say no to any offers that are coming in. I mean, what, we can get 60, 70 million for him probably. I mean, he's, a proven young player. So I mean, we've already gotten offers for him from places. So I think any team in La Liga would be happy to have him. I think, if the price is right, then he could definitely go this summer. I think it shows, like Casey said, it's an immaturity thing, and I think unfortunately it relates to on and off the field, because when you look at his play too, it is selfish at times, and he's not always trying to make the right play, and he's trying to find the glory for himself. And I know like you said, he's only 20 years old, and that might be a little harsh to put on basically a kid, but I mean, you're playing for United. You know what you came in to do, and you're not doing it. And I think it's going to be hard to say no to any high valued offer that comes in, considering all the gaps we need to fill and what we could do with that money.
Yeah, especially if Napoli come back in again. We want Osimhen. For me, there's a huge possibility there to do a swap deal. If not, buy Osimhen and then sell them Garnacho. Sanjeev is saying Garnacho is an immature child. He can learn, but should be reprimanded. Can he learn, though? Because this is the second time in 3 months that you've gone and made it about yourself instead of about the team. And you know full well that you're going to be kicked out the team. Sanjeev is saying that also, if you bench him now, his value shoots down to 20 million. There's no way that, his... First off, we're not going to bench him for the rest of the season. I don't see him starting Sunday now at all. I don't even think he's at the team on Sunday. I don't.
That'd be on brand.
Yeah, it'll be on brand with him not being in the team. Yeah. One of the things for me with Garnacho, though, and you just brought this up, Mr. Green, thank you for making the comment, is I don't see the progression in it. You know what I mean? Like, he's played over 100 games for Manchester United. If anything, for me, he's kind of, and that this could be said with he's working in a system that he's not used to, but he's scoring less goals and assisting less goals now than he did a year ago. But you're also causing trouble now. Like, we always bring it up. If this was Fergie, he's gone already. You know what I mean? And that's what I like about Amorim is, this is going to be a team. You're going to win together. You're going to lose together. Today was a win, and it should have been together, but he made it about himself. So for me, he's got to go. I would take the 55 million right now and run with him, and bring in Osimhen with a Napoli, because they clearly want him. We want Osimhen. It's just a deal to be had right there.
And it's a shame because we'd be losing a great player too. But
yeah, But at the end of the day, for me though, I would rather lose a 20-year-old Garnacho and him win the Ballon d'Or in 6 years than deal with another couple of years with his bad attitude.
Right.
We've seen players go on and win Ballon d'Ors, leaving Man United. We've seen great players leave Man United. But one of the great things is this is always Man United, and we'll always have the ability to bring in a young talent kid from my youth academy. There's plenty of kids down there that want to take his place. Casey, is that something you would do? Would you take it and run in the summertime with Osimhen?
Oh, definitely. I think Osimhen is more upside, helps us out with the strike position. And Garnacho, as we all said, he doesn't fit the system. Osimhen is what we need. If it helps sweeten the deal with Napoli and to get Osimhen, I'm all for it. Yeah, it's a risk that Garnacho might go somewhere and flourish, but that's what it has to be. I want him to go somewhere and flourish. I hope it works out, because it's just a bad situation. And if you're the coach, when you got to keep correcting somebody, If the Napoli wants to do this, I'm all for it. Let's let it go. We can get another 10. We can go get the guy from I can't say we can get another 10, but there's other 10 people who fit our system a lot better. And Garnacho's regressing. He's fighting it. He does want to get rid of the selfishness. He thinks he's on his way to be our CR7, but he's not. Well, I don't know. I can't say he's not, but you can't jeopardize the team for your own personal gain. And I'm not for that. I feel like Amron won't be for that, but definitely would, if it helps sweeten the deal to get Osman, I'm all for it.
Dan Taylor's saying, if you're willing to butt heads with Messi in your international team, what does that do? And that tells you everything that you need to know about him. He's willing to butt heads as one of the top 5 players of all time. I'm not going to say number 1 because everyone has a different opinion. Top 5 player, or if top 3 player of all time. Sanjeev is saying Ronnie had his personality issues early on, but that dressing room would have shut him up fast. I agree, but we have a manager now that is shutting it down fast, and it's still continuing to happen. That's my problem. And you can't now back out of this and say, oh, it's okay, we're going to give him another shot when you did what you did with Rashford. Because then that just says to me you had a personal issue with Rashford. If you're not willing to do it with other players and you did it with Rashford, that means it's a personal issue and not, a playing issue.
Listen, Garnacho knows what he did. This has been addressed before.
Yeah.
Because before, when he went through this problem, he actually took himself off social media for a few weeks. Now he's jumping back on, doing the same behavior.
Yeah, and he needs to. For me, it's kind of like a Sancho issue. You're surrounding yourself with the wrong people. We look at players like, for me, Sancho is heading in the in the same way as Dele Alli. If he continues down this path, I don't see Sancho playing for a big team in the next 2-3 years. Because Chelsea are not going to put up with it for much longer, and that's the thing with these players now. They need to understand that if you don't do it, if you go to Napoli or go to Atletico Madrid and you do the same thing, they're not going to put up with it. And then you're going to be sold on. You're going to keep getting sold on. You keep getting sold on until eventually you're playing in, in America, like Pogba looks like he's going to be playing. Another thing that I wanted to kind of bring up, a couple of months ago, in January, we called Arsenal Corner FC. Today, it looks like Man United were called, Free Kick FC or Corner FC today. But it's great to see, considering the amount of goals that we did concede from corners and set pieces, and now we're scoring them. Unfortunately, our strikers are not doing it, but for me, a goal's a goal. Jordan, what's your thoughts on the goals today and how our ability to score from set pieces has been recently?
Considering how poor we've been the last 2 years with set pieces, defending and on the offensive end, I'm ecstatic. We'll take goals any way we can get them right now. Honestly, free kicks and corners are, they're supposed to be beneficial to you as, an attacking team. So we have big guys that can get in the box and get their heads on them. We just can never get a good service. It seems like we're getting better services in. Bruno's been hitting the ball really nicely on the free kicks. Love a big H goal. I'll take that all day with that big head of his. It's good to see some aggressiveness in the box. If we can get that when we're defending set pieces as well, that'd be great. We have been better at it, but, still sometimes there's some concerns and missed chances that, could probably result in goals from a defensive perspective. But yeah, we'll take goals any way we can get them right now.
Casey, what's your thoughts on, the ability to now score from, set pieces?
Well, if it continue, these are the type of things that are going to help you win more games in tough games. So if we keep at this we're gonna win more games because
Yeah.
it's proven teams that are great at set pieces are winning teams. It's good that it's a credit to the staff, the players, to fix this problem because it was a problem early. Aaron's it was driving him crazy, but he's got everybody organizing that and showing leaders in the box or being accountable. So when you have guys being accountable about things like set pieces, it's going to lead to more victories. So I welcome it. I'm happy. And how many times have we watched a game like, why are we so terrible at this? Or when it's a set piece, we're nervous, like, oh God, this is not going to go well. Yeah. So it's just another aspect of the game. If we fix and stay good at it, we're going to win more games. And I hope it continues going into Europa.
Yeah. Let's talk about Sunday. We got Fulham in the FA Cup. I think it's going to be a harder game. Obviously Fulham are higher in the table. I think their attacking play is, a little bit better than Ipswich's. But it's going to be a hard game, and it's the FA Cup. Anything can happen in the FA Cup. We'll look with Plymouth and Liverpool. I still think that the attitude of the Man United players today after they went 1-0 down, well, let's say, 99.9% of the attitude of the players was phenomenal today. And, I can see us, pulling out a win against Fulham on Sunday. Jordan, what's your take on it?
Man, Fulham always play us tough though. I don't know. I'm a little nervous about this one. I'm feeling a bit more confident after today. Obviously, we're not gonna, we're gonna be missing some players, but it's not gonna be that different from what we've been working with. And yeah, I mean, I just hope we can keep some of the Fulham attackers at bay. I do worry with a bit of a short turnaround what our defensive situation is going to look like.
Yeah.
I worry if Maguire starts again just playing a full game, I worry about that. Yeah, I mean, just fitness is my biggest worry going into that one with what our options are right now.
Yeah. No, I agree, especially when you saw players like Bruno Fernandes on his knees today with his hands.
They put a lot into it.
Yeah, he put a lot into it. He's going to be tired. Yeah. I think these players, should be getting a rest tomorrow and back at it for the weekend. Casey, how do you see Sunday going, with the attitude of the players today?
It's definitely going to be tough because Fulham's one of these teams who don't fear us anymore. They're definitely going to work hard. They're organized. They know what they can do. We have to have the same spirit we had today. If we don't bring that energy, that fight, we're not going to win the match. Fulham wants to go. They want to take advantage of this FA Cup situation. Of course they do. We have to seize the moment. We have to carry. As long as we bring that fighting spirit to this game, I'll feel confident. But we'll know in the first 10 minutes how it goes. Yes, we're going to have guys who are tired. Dorgu's out. That's going to be a definitely weak link not having him. Hopefully, guys like Collier can come back into the fold. Hopefully, 𝗵𝗴𝗍 can play. But so if we come with a fighting spirit, that's the first step to being confident and seeing success. We gotta want it, And I think we can't rest on our laurels and be like, oh, we know how to do this. Fulham is going to want to beat us. And we have to understand that. We have to match their energy. So I don't want to say I'm confident or what I expect. Just like we said with this team, they don't carry over too much from one game to another. But, how do I feel? I feel like I felt going to this game. I don't know what to expect.
Yeah, like today, after 5 minutes of this game, I wasn't, I wasn't exactly over the moon with how we started. For me, Dorgu's going to be a big miss. We didn't really talk about Dorgu, how he played today. I thought he was phenomenal today. Mm-hmm. Up until the unfortunate red card, I don't think there was any malice in it. It goes for all. Fortunately, it follows through, and it could have been a serious injury to the Ipswich player. But again, I don't think there's any malice in that. I think with the back line...
Wait a minute, he's out of this game too, right?
Dorgu?
No,
Yeah,
Dorgu
yeah,
plays in it.
he's out Sunday. Yeah, he starts his 3-game ban on Sunday because it's a domestic game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Right.
he misses that. He misses that. He'll be available for Sociedad on Thursday, but then he misses the Arsenal game and the game, which is going to be a big miss. It's Mr. Green Dorgu is a beast, excellent signing, and if we can get four or five more players as good as Dorgu, that's where I think next year we really come into our own next year. I'm really excited about what he can bring in. For me, for the game, oh no, Delo looked pretty solid on the left today, but again, we don't know how he's going to play game by game. He has this absolute stinker in some games, and then the next game he's really good. So yeah, we're back to being light on the left again, aren't we, boys?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah. You're right, Dan. We are really missing Ahmed. I tell you that we are missing Ahmed.
No question.
Yeah. And Dorgu's I saw today. His crossing needs a little work. He needs to lift the ball a little more when he's crossing. He crosses a little bit too much like Garnacho to me, but crosses more consistently than Garnacho. A little bit more lift on that ball. Get it over the first defender. But we're really going to miss that. And you could see it today with how dominant we were on the left compared to on the right. And I think next year when we bring in a really good right wing back, looks like it's going to be Quenda. I honestly really excited to see those wing backs come into play next season. United. I don't care about feelings in this point now. For me, Rasmus Højlund needs to sit. He needs to sit. The fact that it's an FA Cup game, Bindeer's going to play. But yeah, he really needs to sit. I don't know where Jordan just went. Leave it today.
So you would start Cheeto?
Yeah, I'd start Cheeto on Sunday, yeah. It's an FA Cup game. It's something that we, if he's really adamant with playing Rasmus Højlund, and we all know Rasmus Højlund can score in you. He just can't score in the Premier League. Why not play Cheeto on Sunday and play Rasmus on Thursday against Real Sociedad? Casey, what's your thoughts?
I would like to see that, but I don't feel like he would. But I definitely would like to see Cheeto get some good time. Probably come in like around the 60th minute. Or just see how Rasmus is going. If he's sub him early, if he's not going well. But I just don't see him starting him.
Doing that with him. We can't keep going, let's see if he's going to score. Let's see if he's going to score. Let's give him 60 minutes. It's 17 games now without him scoring. 17. That's really, really bad for a striker. Like, can you both name me, and anybody in the chat, can you name me a striker in the Premier League or in the Champions League that is on a worse run of form? Jordan, we can't hear you. Your picture's there, but we can't hear you. I think I read your mouth saying probably not. But yeah, for me, there's nobody that's on a worse run of forms than he is, and it's sad to see that his mind's gone that way. Casey, I'll jump to you until we can get your voice back there. No, we still can't hear you. Casey, do you want to tell us what you're thinking
about
Rasmus? About Rasmus, and we're talking 17.
I can't. I really can't. I'm not going to try and attempt that. And it's at some point you would hope for the manager to say, listen, this is being detrimental to the team. Let's give someone else another shot, because it's just not changing. When you watch this play, you don't see anything developing. So it's tough. It's tough. I still don't think he'll start him. I mean, sit him though. I think he'll still start him. And I know it doesn't sound right, but I still don't think he'll start the kid. He'll play him, but I don't think he'll start him.
Okay. Jordan, you want to try and talk? No. You've got a mute within the app. with it. Yeah. So we'll come back to that one on you, Jordan. Just I'll read a couple of comments. Q saying I'm here for OB start on Sunday. Mr. Green saying your striker simply cannot go 17 games without scoring. Sanjeev saying, yeah, it's weird how Højlund has almost disappeared. For me, it's not just a disappearing, though. And someone said to me today, because I said, hey, because he's an Arsenal fan, and I said, hey, do you want to borrow Rasmus Højlund, obviously, with their draw today and pretty much guaranteeing Liverpool the title today? And he goes, no, I don't want a striker that consistently makes the bad run. If he takes 2 runs, he consistently takes the wrong one every single time. Jordan, do you want to just click your fingers until I can hear you? No sound. Yeah, just keep working on it. Casey, have you noticed that too? It's like his runs are just wrong every single time.
Everything is wrong.
Yeah, I saw him today when he tried to hold up the ball. He fell over trying to hold up the ball, and their defender just stepped back, let Rasmus fall on the floor, and he just took the ball. So
I mean, it's even worse than when we had Woot. And at least Woot was making good runs. He just couldn't put it in the net. I haven't seen a striker this bad. And I've just got to keep it 100. Yeah. There's a lot of people we would take right now over Rasmus, and it's a shame to say that because he has the physical attributes. He's just not in the game right now. His everything is off. And you want for him to just go on to like get one goal and maybe get it going, but you just don't see it because he's making bad runs and he's always in bad position. And when he's choosing to hold up at the wrong time, and it's hard. It's hard, and it's got to be hard on the coach because he's still trying to give him a chance. But you know that everybody around the program has to be saying, we got to try something else. It's a detriment to the team.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Jordan, I would just say, like when you keep coming back in and out, and you come back in, there is a button that you can click for audio. It looks like you just haven't hit the audio button.
Before it says start. Oh.
Yeah, there's an audio button in there. Yeah, obviously, everyone that's going to come on here now, I'm going to start getting them to use the app because the app's a little easy to feed. So I do apologize with Jordan coming in and out. We have technical difficulties. Nope, still knowing. I don't know how you got it to work at the start and then now you don't have it.
Before you get to this part, Jordan, when it says the start part, it's in that area you have to do it. Where it says where you do your microphone.
Well, let me ask you this, Jordan. Do you have like your camera open or anything? Like close all your apps and then open that, because if you have your camera open, it's using the audio on the camera and that's why it doesn't work. So but that's why we're here, But Mr. Green, we'll be having you on next week. Let me see. Mr. Green, at this point, Højlund needs the ball in front of him to make a run. How often does Højlund make an angled run? Not very often. LOL, Big H was yelling at him in the game for that too. I'm in for Monday, boys. Mike has, yep, we'll be having you on Monday. I don't know what else to do because for me, 𝙈𝙀𝙀, as well as he's playing and the hold-up play that he's doing, he's doing really well, but he's not a striker. He's clearly a 10, and he's working really well at the 10. We just need somebody that's scoring a goal, and I don't know how, as a manager, you can't see, like, this is 17 games now. This is just getting worse and worse and worse. So for me, it's got to change, and I think he needs to make that change on Sunday. Now, if Obi comes in and doesn't score, okay, but you've given it a shot. You know what I mean? You at least give Cheeto at least 60 minutes. Jordan, you want to try? No sound.
No sound.
Yeah. We'll peace out, buddy. We'll have you on the next one, buddy. Peace. I'm gonna just real quick here, Casey. I'm just gonna move us over to a 2. There we go. There we go. Every day we've got difficulties. Casey's here. There we go, Casey. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. We moved over to a 2. Jordan, we'll have Jordan on again. We got to get this this fixed with people's phones on. There's not much more left for me. Other than we got that. I'm a little worried about next Thursday with Sociedad, but we'll get that into that next week, you know, with the Monday and Tuesday show. Is there anything you want to add for today, Casey?
No, I mean, just happy to see the guys working hard. I think when you do things like that, you will have good results because we haven't been doing that. That's the only thing I could take from it. If we come out, work hard, have an overall team spirit, we'll be more successful than not.
Yeah.
So I hope that carries over. Happy for the 3 points, you know?
Yeah.
Really am.
Yeah, me too. Happy for the 3 points. It looks like, well, it doesn't look like, you know, being 17 points above the relegation zone now. That no more. I know you at some point you're going to be watching this, G's. So no more talk of relegation battles.
No more talk of that.
Yeah, there's no more relegation. Now that, you know, 17 points, I think now is a great time to start playing those kids.
Yeah.
Get them ready for next year. And then
Definitely.
Yeah. So, and then use the rest of the team to really go all out now to win the Europa League. We got to get past Sociedad. I think for me, if we can get past Sociedad, there is a very, very good chance that we can go on and win the Champions League. But again,
totally agree with you.
Not Champions League, the Europa League. But again though, we don't know who's going to turn up week after week for Manchester United. So we'll have to wait and see. It's going to be a run, but
hopefully we get some guys healthy.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You know, touch some wood when I say this. We got Luke Shaw and Mason Mount coming back. Let's hope they can play for the rest of the season and, you know, put some value in there because at least Mason Mount.
I think Collier's real close.
Yeah, Collier's real close. Bayern Deer's probably going to start Sunday.
Definitely play him.
Collier?
Yeah, no, Bayern Deer.
Yeah, I would definitely play Bayern Deer. I would probably start. Actually, I wouldn't start Collier. You know, just coming back off injury. But yeah, that's everything for me today. Casey, thank you for popping on. Jordan, thank you for popping on. We'll have to get you your equipment fixed for next time. Everything out. We'll see you on Monday for the show with me, Mikey, and our guest, Mr. Green.
Mr. Green.
Yeah, we're excited to have you on. And then, yeah, we'll talk about the Sunday game. Everybody else, we'll see you on Monday. Peace out. And Casey, once again, thank you very much.
Up the fucking Reds.
Up the Red.